Chapter 619. Sky Hunter Master didn't know the bear demon or the snake demon, but he knew the eagle demon. The eagle demon was a flying demonic beast that liked to fly high. It only stayed in Wanxiong Mountain for half a year. The rest of the time, it would wander outside. Once, Sky Hunter Master and the eagle demon encountered each other and fought. The reason was that Sky Hunter Master wanted to subdue the eagle demon, but he didn't succeed in the end. Moreover, during that expedition, an old monster over 200 years old appeared. His strength was terrifying, and Sky Hunter Master and the eagle demon joined hands to escape. From then on, the man and the demon became familiar with each other, although they still had their own ulterior motives. They dared to come to our Wanxiong Mountain and behave atrociously. They really don't know how to write the word death. The eagle demon's voice was very sharp, like an eagle's cry. Their ears. The snake demon squinted its eyes, looking sinister. Several li away from the main peak, Yi Chun and Morong Qingcheng were floating in the sky. Use your demonic eye to see if there is a phoenix plume tree on the main peak. Yi Chun could also see with his soul eye, but it consumed too much soul energy, so he didn't need to use it. In any case, it was the same with Morong Qingcheng's demonic eye. Nodding, Morong Qingcheng circulated her demonic power to her eyes. Found it. There is a phoenix plume tree beside the underground river under the main peak. It is about 3 meters tall, and there are a lot of phoenix plume fruits on it. Soon, Morong Qingcheng found the location of the phoenix plume tree. A happy expression flashed through her face as she said, "We only need 1 phoenix plume fruit. Let's negotiate with them first." A bear demon that was stronger than the black wind leopard, and 2 snake demon and eagle demon that were weaker than the black wind leopard. This force couldn't be underestimated. Even Yi Chun had to be careful. Of course, if the negotiation failed, he could only take it by force. He was determined to get the phoenix plume fruit. Whoosh! Whoosh! The two flew towards the main peak. There was a huge cave entrance halfway up the main peak. Yi Chun and Morong Qingcheng stood outside the cave and shouted, "Is Tyra Bear inside?" "I am Yi Chun. I have something to discuss with you." "Come in first." A deep and overbearing voice came from the cave. "Come, let's go in." Yi Chun and Morong Qingcheng walk into the cave. After a while, the two of them arrived at the cave inside the main peak. There were 3 half-human, half-beast figures in the cavern that was like a hall. The one sitting at the head was a huge bear that was 5 to 6 meters tall. It was obvious that he was the tyrant bear that the black wind leopard had mentioned. On his left and right were a snake demon with a human head and a bird's body, and an eagle demon with a human head and a bird's body. The 3 beasts were all looking at Yi Chun and Morong Qingcheng. "What business do you have with me?" Xiongba's huge eyes looked down at Yi Chun. Yi Chun frowned slightly and said, "I heard that there's a phoenix plume tree in the Wanxiong Mountain. I'm here for a phoenix plume fruit. The price is negotiable." "You want the phoenix plume fruit?" Xiongba was not surprised, as if he had been prepared for this. "That's right. Cici, where did you hear that our Wanxiong Mountain has a phoenix plume tree?" The snake demon's eyes were sinister as it stuck out its scarlet tongue. Yi Chun said, "The black wind leopard." "So it's him." The snake demon's eyes were filled with killing intent. "Gentlemen, 1 phoenix plume fruit shouldn't be a big deal to you. I wonder if you can sell it to us? The price won't make you suffer a loss." Morong Qingcheng wore a black veil and said. The eagle demon looked straight at Morong Qingcheng. "Why hide your face when you come to my Wanxiong Mountain? Take off your veil and see your true face. Maybe you'll agree." Yi Chun's face darkened. "We're here to buy the phoenix plume fruit. I just want to ask if the 3 of you will agree." "Who do you think you are to interrupt me?" The eagle demon glared at Yi Chun with killing intent. Yi Chun did not look at it, but looked at Xiongba, who was sitting in the head seat. Xiongba gulped down a huge jar of wine and said, "We can't give you the phoenix plume fruit. On the contrary, we want your wealth and this woman." Yi Chun smiled instead of getting angry. He squinted his eyes and said with a sharp gaze, "Seems like the 3 of you don't intend to do business with us." "That's right. Whoever has the bigger fist will listen to them. Come to my Wanxiong Mountain, Even a dragon has to coil up and a tiger has to lie down, Xiong Ba said with disdain. Shifting his gaze, Yichen saw the three demons and said indifferently, "Do you think you can keep us here with just the three of you? What if you add us?" A black-robed man and a rainbow-robed old man walked out from the fork. Yichen turned around and his pupils constricted. "Een demon ancestor."
Hee long time no see.
Een demon ancestor had a warm smile on his face. However, this smile didn't give people a warm feeling. Instead, it was filled with killing intent, an undisguised killing intent. Yichen said thoughtfully, "I didn't expect you to come out. This is really out of my expectation. If I'm not wrong, you've been following me all the way here. What, you still don't want to give up?" "Give up?" Een demon ancestor sneered. "What belongs to me, I will definitely get it. This time, you won't be able to escape even if you grow wings." Yi Chen's expression didn't change as he said indifferently, "If I can make you fall once, I can make you fall a second time. Moreover, it will be the last time." Big words. The rainbow-robed old man's multicolored pupils were extremely strange. Yi Chen. Morong Qingcheng was a bit worried. The enemy was too powerful. 3 demonic beasts and 2 powerful master-level characters. Even one of the 5 young tyrants might not be able to win against them. Moreover, Yichen was still a bit weaker than the 5 young tyrants. Yichen held Morong Qingcheng's slender hand. "Don't worry." She didn't know why, but Yichen's words gave her a sense of security. "What? Even at this point, you still think you can escape?" Een demon ancestor was infuriated by Yichen's attitude. Yichen moved his finger and shook his head. "Escape? I've never thought about it. As long as I kill you, everything will be fine." Arrogant. Not only Een demon ancestor and Sky Bird ancestor, even the Tyrant Bear trio were angered. "Sky Bird ancestor, Een demon ancestor, don't talk nonsense with him. Join hands and subdue him and this woman." Eagle Demon's voice was sharp as he took the initiative to attack. With a flap of his wings, he shot toward Morong Qingcheng with a speed not inferior to the black-winged leopard. His huge claws reached out, wanting to subdue her. Darkness curtain. Morong Qingcheng raised a black barrier. Rip. The barrier was torn apart, and Eagle Demon squeezed in with great difficulty. Scram. Yichen took out his Thunder Disaster Sword and repelled Eagle Demon. "Brat, obediently surrender. Otherwise, you'll have a good time." Tyrant Bear and Snake Demon also made their moves. Tyrant Bear's body was huge, and his every movement contained a mountain-shattering power. He took a step forward and slightly clenched his huge bear paw, striking toward Yichen. Snake Demon coiled its body and raised its head, spitting out a green light wave. The light wave hissed and carried a dizzying poison chi. Golden Ripple. Facing the 3 demons, Yichen was not afraid at all. Using his Thunder Disaster Sword, he sent out Golden Ripple. 7-8 Golden Sword chi fanned out like ripples in water. Pung 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 pung. Tyrant Bear was the strongest, followed by Eagle Demon and Snake Demon. However, the average strength of the 3 was similar to the black-winged leopard. How could they block Yichen's Thunder Disaster Sword's Golden Ripple? All of them retreated one after another. The powerful shockwave radiated in all directions, shaving off a layer of the main peak. Earth as heaven. At this moment, Een demon ancestor's Zhan Yuan circulated to the limit, and he sent out a palm strike. The palm energy contained the profound of Earth, reversing the universe. The sky was no longer the sky, and the Earth was no longer the Earth. It was completely reversed, trying to subvert Yichen and Morong Qingcheng's sense of direction and make them lose their balance. At the same time, his left palm turned into a blade and slashed out horizontally, using the powerful Een Demon Chop. The gray-black sawtooth blade light was as fast as lightning. Demonic Finger. Morong Qingcheng flapped her wings and tried her best to maintain her balance. Her right index finger was covered in a layer of black light as a black light sphere condensed at her fingertip and attacked the sawtooth blade light. Rumble. Another violent shockwave exploded, and the top half of the main peak was completely blown away, shattering into millions of pieces. Skybird Claw. The most powerful sky bird ancestor made his move. His right hand turned into a claw and clawed at the air. A multicolored claw light shot out and unexpectedly cut through Morong Chingching's curtain of darkness, as if it was tofu. If she was hit by this claw, even if Morong Chingching had a demonic body, she would lose her fighting strength. The 4 humans and 3 demons had only exchanged blows for a short moment. By the time Yi Chun repelled the 3 demons, Morong Chingcheng was already in danger. His expression was calm as he extended his left index finger and pointed at the multicolored claw light. The cyan-colored finger, which was emitting a halo, arrived first and defeated the opponent. Herculean Bear King Art. On the other side, Tyrant Bear, who was stronger than the black-winged leopard, had an ugly expression. He used a secret art unique to demonic beasts, and his body grew several times bigger. An earthen yellow radiance revolved around his body as he rushed over with large strides and punched out again. This punch had not yet landed, but the surrounding 10 li was already trembling. Dream-eating wolf, it's time for you to come out. After defeating Sky Bird Ancestor's claw light, Yi Chen lightly patted the beast-taming token on his waist.
What?
In an instant, the beast-taming token trembled, and a giant red wolf scuttled out. This wolf's head was filled with eyes, and they were tightly shut. The moment it came out, it raised its head to the sky and howled ferociously. This is... Sky Bird Ancestor pondered for a moment before his eyes widened. Dream-eating wolf. It's actually a dream-eating wolf. He actually has a dream-eating wolf, and it's at level 10.
Boom.
After forcing Tyrant Bear back, Yi Chen instructed Dream-Eating Wolf, use the Dreamland ability. Dream-Eating Wolf nodded, and the numerous eyes on its head opened. A dense, dim light spread out in all directions with Dream-Eating Wolf as the center, like a slightly transparent tide. Not good. Retreat quickly. Sky Bird Ancestor roared. A pair of 5-colored Jun Yuan wings condensed on his back, and he shot into the distance. Demon Ancestor received his warning and was slightly delayed. Immediately, he was enveloped by the dim light. At the same time, Tyrant Bear, Serpent Demon, and Eagle Demon were also enveloped by the dim light. 1 man and 3 demons fell into the range of the dim light. Their faces were filled with struggle, but the degree of it was different. Among them, Tyrant Bear was the first to enter the Dreamland, followed by Serpent Demon. On the contrary, Eagle Demon and Demon Ancestor didn't enter immediately, but they were also in a half-dreamland state. Chapter 620. When Yi Chen encountered Dream-Eating Wolf for the first time, he was caught off guard and suffered quite a bit. If not for his strong will, it would have been impossible for him to destroy the Dreamland in an instant. Ever since Dream-Eating Wolf swallowed the 9-twist spirit grass, his Dreamland creation ability had become much stronger than before. As long as the will did not exceed the 4th step, it would be impossible to resist the corrosion of the Dreamland. Eagle Demon and Demon Ancestor should have had some kind of fortuitous encounter, which was why they did not fall into the Dreamland in an instant. Instead, they were in a half-Dreamland state. Kill Tyrant Bear and Snake Demon first, Yi Chen said to Morong Chingcheng. Morong Chingcheng woke up from the shock and pointed out her finger at the bear tyrant and the snake beast. The pitch-black finger power instantly pierced through the snake beast's head. Only the bear tyrant's defense was too high, so it only made its head bleed. Moreover, the pain made it feel like it was about to leave the dream. On the other side, Yi Chen approached Demon Ancestor at an extreme speed. Relying on sword chi to kill Demon Ancestor was not very safe. After all, he was only in a half-dreamland state, and the intense danger would wake him up. Once he did, a single sword chi would at most heavily injure him. It would not be able to kill him instantly. Therefore, Yi Chen had to get closer. Once he got close, he would have the confidence to kill him regardless of whether he was awake or not. Indeed, as soon as Yi Chen got close, Demon Ancestor woke up. No. Demon Ancestor roared as he raised his right palm, dragging out a sawtooth blade light as he ruthlessly chopped at the incoming Yi Chen. At the moment of life and death, his potential burst out. This palm blade was even more powerful than when he was at his peak, causing spatial ripples to distort crazily. I said that if I can make you fall once, I can make you fall a second time. As for the third time, that's it. Yi Chen's face was expressionless as the Thunder Disaster sword pierced out with an even faster speed, using the wood profound sword move, Amaranthan nature.
Pucci.
Een demon ancestors in Demon Chop had only been executed halfway when his forehead was pierced. His pupils dilated to the extreme, as if he could not believe that he had died just like that. Taking out the Thunder Disaster sword, Yi Chen twisted his body and turned around in the air, flying toward the Eagle Demon who was 100 meters away. The Eagle Demon was shaken awake by the roar of the Een demon ancestor before his death. Seeing Yi Chen approaching him, he shrieked and flapped his wings, wanting to escape. Gold ripples. Along the way, Yi Chen swung the long sword in his hand, and 7 to 8 streams of golden sword chi spread out like scattered water ripples.
Puff. Puff. Puff.
Although the Eagle Demon was fast, no matter how fast it could not match the speed of the sword chi. Its back, tail, and left wing were all hit by the sword. Its steel-like feathers and bright red blood splattered all over the sky. It staggered and almost fell from the sky. I'll fight it out with you. With his left wing injured, the Eagle Demon's speed was greatly reduced. He turned around and flapped his right wing. An earth-shattering crescent wind blade slashed towards Yi Chen. Sword steps. Yi Chen was like a zigzagging sword light, shuttling through the densely packed wind blades. Whenever he encountered a gap, he would break it with his sword. Wind fire pellet. Seeing that the wind blades could not do anything to Yi Chen, a hideous expression flashed through his face. He opened his beak, and a green-red pearl was spat out. This pearl expanded rapidly in the wind, turning into the size of a house. Its whole body was surrounded by red flames and dark blue wind. The wind and fire stimulated each other, doubling its power. It then attacked towards Yi Chen with lightning speed.
What?
Inner pellet. Yi Chen was shocked. When demonic beasts were below rank 9, they would all have an inner pellet inside their bodies. It was their foundation, just like a human's dantian, which stored a huge amount of beast power. Demonic beasts below rank 9 would not be able to let their inner pellets fly out to attack. Only a small portion of demonic beasts with this kind of talent would be able to do it. However, unless it was a life and death situation, they would not dare to do it, because once their inner pellets were destroyed, they would lose at least half of their cultivation, which was extremely dangerous. However, after the demonic beasts reached rank 9, their inner pellets would be refined, turning into a beast power ocean. It was just like when a human reached the Sea of Souls realm. The Zhenyuan core in their dantian would directly turn into a Zhenyuan ocean. Although the two had different names, the principles were similar. He really did not expect that the eagle beast would have a wind and fire dual elemental pellet inside its body. It should be known that attacking with the inner pellet was the most powerful attack of the demonic beasts with this kind of talent. It meant that they were going to risk their lives. It was not hard to imagine that the attacking power would definitely increase by a whole new level. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chen's body spun in the air as he waved out dozens of golden sword chi, attacking on the huge inner pellet that was surrounded by wind and fire. This inner pellet was indestructible, and no matter how powerful Yi Chen was, he could not destroy it with one attack. At most, he could slow it down a little. The eagle demon's feathered face twitched. The wind-fire core was connected to his soul and was a part of his body. When the wind-fire core suffered an intense attack, he didn't feel good either. Plus, this inner core was equivalent to 1/3 of his cultivation. This cultivation was his life's cultivation, and it would take a long time to recover even a little bit. It wasn't as simple as replenishing his demonic power. Once the pellet is used, even the boss Tyrant Bear would not be able to compete with it. Eagle Beast had always been proud. Although his status in the Wanxiong Mountain was not as high as Tyrant Bear, that was because he had not taken out his biggest ace card yet. He knew that it was necessary to have a life-saving ace card, which could save his life in a critical moment. Therefore, he had never shown it in front of anyone. As for this wind fire pellet, it was not his special ability. Instead, it was something he had learned from a beast's secret art. This secret art could allow him to split his inner pellet when he became a rank 9 beast. Part of the pellet would turn into a beast power ocean, while the other part would remain the same. After so many years, he had only used it 3 times. The first time was on a beast that was more powerful than him, and he eventually killed it. The second time was when Sky Hunter Master wanted to tame him, and the third time was right now. The wind fire pellet contained 1/3 of his cultivation. Once it was used to attack, it would be twice as powerful as his most powerful attack. Boom, 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 boom. The wind fire pellet kept clashing with Yichen. Wind and fire filled up half of the sky, and even the rocks in the mountains were melted, turning into red lava. This brat actually has a dream-eating wolf. No wonder he dared to talk so arrogantly. A few miles away, Sky Hunter Master flapped the colorful wings on his back, looking at Yichen and the dream-eating wolf with a gloomy face. Although the dream-eating wolf's battle power was not as powerful as the top-rank beasts, it was still very rare. It was even more useful to humans than those beasts. It was definitely one of the rare beasts. Looking at the dream-eating wolf, Sky Hunter Master's face was filled with greed. He did not want to leave right now, and seemed to want to watch from the sidelines. Eagle Beast's wind fire pellet made me suffer a lot. Even if it can't defeat this brat, it can still exhaust him. I have to find a way to take the dream-eating wolf away.
Roar.
Right at this moment, an earth-shattering roar of a bear resounded. With Tyrant Bear as the center, the space rippled, and the ground cracked. Tyrant Bear was the owner of the Wanxiong Mountain after all, and his body was far more powerful than other beast overlords of the same level. Even the level 9 ice flood dragon that Yichen had encountered in the savage ancient land was much weaker than him. Of course, the ice flood dragon was a top-rank beast just like Blue Phoenix, and once it reached level 10, Tyrant Bear would not be able to compete with it. But no matter what, Tyrant Bear's battle power was undeniable. After suffering a series of heavy injuries, Tyrant Bear finally woke up from his dream. Seeing Morong Qingcheng continuously attacking him, he was enraged.
Roar.
The dream-eating wolf also roared into the sky, but it did not help Yichen. Yichen had told it to help Morong Qingcheng deal with Tyrant Bear. The dim light was like a tide, constantly attacking Tyrant Bear's soul sea. The red fur on the surface of the dream-eating wolf's body rose up like a raging red flame. Seeing that the dream-eating wolf was staying here, Morong Qingcheng knew that it was Yichen's order. Curtain of darkness. With a wave of her hand, a black barrier appeared, protecting her and the dream-eating wolf. The black bat wings on Morong Qingcheng's back expanded to the limit. Streams of black light flowed into her body through the bat wings, and finally flowed along her meridians to her fingertips. Demonic finger. Morong Qingcheng shouted, pointing a finger at the enraged Tyrant Bear.
Bang.
A black sun rose from the Wanxiong Mountain, and Tyrant Bear, who had been eroded by the dream, was sent flying, unable to fight back at all. Well done. Morong Qingcheng knew that the dream-eating wolf had done its best. Without its dream power, Tyrant Bear would not have been in such a daze. Woo woo woo. The dream-eating wolf wagged its tail. Morong has the help of the dream-eating wolf, and she has also inherited the demon's martial arts from the demon's bloodline. So, there should be no problem. It is the Sky Hunter Master who will be a problem. While battling with the Eagle Beast, Yichen could still split his attention to observe the surroundings, especially the Sky Hunter Master's every move. Let's take care of the Eagle Beast first. This pellet will be the reward for the dream-eating wolf. After reaching rank 9, the demonic beasts would lose their pellets, which would be a lot less valuable. Therefore, under normal circumstances, there would not be many Sea of Souls realm warriors who would hunt rank 9 or 10 beasts, since the gains would not make up for the losses. However, the Eagle Beast was different, since it still had the pellet inside its body. If the dream-eating wolf swallowed it, it would definitely increase its beast power by a lot. And the importance of the dream-eating wolf went without saying. I will let you have a taste of my new Thunder Devour. With the Thunder Disaster Sword in his right hand and the gold sword in his left, the two swords crossed in front of each other. Two oppositely arranged thunderbolts fused together, forming a deep thunder ball. This was not the dual sword style, since the real dual sword style would only produce a thunderball at the very last moment. In fact, this Thunder Devour was the combined attack of the Sky Thunder Cut and the Reverse Sky Thunder Cut. A long time ago, Yi Chen had already planned to do this, but he had never succeeded. Only after the Sky Thunder Cut had reached 110%, and his Thunder Profound had improved a lot, did he succeed in fusing it.
Pap.
The destructive thunder spread out everywhere. Yi Chen was in the middle of it, attacking at an extreme speed toward the pellet. Now is the time. The Sky Hunter Master saw that the battle between Yi Chen and the Eagle Beast was still going on, so he could not afford to be distracted. So, he flew toward the Dream-Eating Wolf. In his opinion, it would be impossible for Yi Chen and the Eagle Beast to win within a second. And, with the preparation, he would not be invaded by the Dream-Eating Wolf's dream. Once he wounded the Dream-Eating Wolf badly, he could even use Morong Qingqing to threaten Yi Chen, leaving him no chance to fight back. Chapter 6:21.
What?
The Dream-Eating Wolf's soul was extremely powerful. It immediately sensed the approaching Sky Hunter Master. It turned around, its red fur stood up, and a dim light shot out from its head towards the Sky Hunter Master like a wave. Darkness sky. With the Dream-Eating Wolf's warning, Morong Qingqing had also noticed the Sky Hunter Master's movement. She pushed out both of her hands, and a black screen covered half of the sky, blocking the Sky Hunter Master's path. Huh. The Sky Hunter Master sneered. He reached out both of his hands and tore open the black screen. Soul-destroying wave. Morong Qingqing's expression did not change. She held a black light ball in her right hand and tightened her fingers. The black light ball exploded, turning into a black fan-shaped light wave, shooting towards the Sky Hunter Master. Not good. The soul vibration from the fan-shaped light wave could not escape the Sky Hunter Master's senses. He did not expect Morong Qingqing to have a soul attack type martial art. If it were not for the Dream-Eating Wolf, he would not be afraid. But the Dream-Eating Wolf's ability to create dreams was way too powerful. If he was even slightly careless, he would fall for it. Great Sky Crow Art. The Sky Hunter Master patted the beast tag on his waist with his right hand. All of a sudden, a huge amount of black crows rushed out. These black crows were only rank 4 demonic beasts, which were equivalent to a late condensing reality realm human warrior. But there were way too many of them. Thousands of them covered the sky.
Caw. Caw. Caw.
A huge amount of black crows rushed towards the fan-shaped light wave like a black tide. Without a sound, the black crows that had collided with the light wave all fell down. Both of their eyes turned white. Obviously, their souls had been destroyed. The fan-shaped light wave had also dimmed a lot after being attacked by the black crows. The soul vibration it contained was almost negligible, so it could not affect the Sky Hunter Master at all.
Boom.
On the other side, Yi Chen and the wind-fire pellet had also clashed together, bringing up a sky full of thunder and fire. Crack. Indistinctly, there was the sound of something shattering amidst the thunderclap. Impossible. Eagle Beast's eyes were filled with fear as he puked out a mouthful of blood. Break. Yi Chen could see the cracks on the wind-fire dan, and there was a thick beast power leaking out from the cracks. He sheathed his gold sword and clenched his left hand into a fist. A white dragon bone defense layer covered his fist as he threw a punch right at the center of the dan. Bang! The wind and fire pellet shook violently for a few times before it suddenly shrunk. In the end, it turned into a green and red pearl that was only the size of a bowl. Reaching out with his left hand, Yi Chen grabbed the wind flame pill, which had shrunk in size, tightly. You want to take my wind-fire pill?
Die.
The wind-fire pellet was a part of the eagle demon's body, so it was easy to control. Its eyes narrowed, and the wind-fire pellet in Yi Chen's hand immediately began to tremble, as if it wanted to grow bigger again. On the surface of the wind-fire pellet, the wind-fire Yao Qi spilled out, burning Yi Chen's palm. Crack. Yi Chen's left hand's 5 fingers were like hooks. No matter how hard the wind fire pellet shook, it could not grow even a bit bigger. As for the wind fire Yao Qi, it could not do anything to the dragon bone defense either. It could only make the dragon bone defense a bit darker. Of course, Yi Chen could not keep fighting with the eagle beast like this. He held the Thunder Disaster Sword in his right hand and threw out a gold pattern attack. The scattered golden sword Qi made it impossible for the eagle beast to escape.
No.
After losing the pellet, the eagle beast only had 2/3 of its cultivation left. Even if its body's power did not decrease, it still could not compete with Yi Chen's sword Qi.
Pooh. Pooh. Pooh.
Blood splashed everywhere as the eagle beast was torn apart by the golden sword Qi. The wind fire pellet that had lost control also quieted down. This eagle beast is indeed powerful. If I did not use my Thunder Devour, it would probably take me more than 100 attacks to kill it. Yi Chen held the pellet and sighed. Beast Binding Thorns. Yi Chen had killed the eagle beast in less than 10 blinks of an eye. During this time, Sky Hunter Master had already broken through Morong Qingqing's defense and performed a sealing martial art. The Dream-Eating Wolf was surrounded by a golden light as a pure golden thorn appeared and wrapped around the Dream-Eating Wolf. That long golden thorn pierced into the Dream-Eating Wolf's body.
What?
The Dream-Eating Wolf wanted to struggle, but the more it struggled, the tighter the golden thorns bound it. Moreover, the golden thorns were making it feel extremely painful. Flying Sky Assassination Cut. The black bat wings on her back flapped. Morong Qingqing's body moved unpredictably, turning into dozens of images all of a sudden, attacking toward the Sky Hunter Master from all directions. It was hard to tell which one was real and which one was fake, and which one was real and which one was fake. This woman is so fast. Sky Hunter Master's expression did not change as he patted the beast tag on his waist. Screech.
Caw.
Roar. Several different beast roars sounded. At the same time, a demon bird with a long horn on its head, a crow with black flames all over its body, and a winged dog rushed out from the beast tag and appeared around the Sky Hunter Master.
Go.
Capture this woman for me. Remember, do not kill her. Although Morong Qingqing was powerful, her speed was a bonus. The 3 beasts that Sky Hunter Master had let out were all rank 10 beasts that specialized in speed. Each of them was quite powerful, even more powerful than master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors like Haiwia. In order to tame these 3 beasts, he had spent a lot of effort. Hearing Sky Hunter Master's order, the 3 rank 10 beasts flapped their wings and started to fight against Morong Qingqing, who was extremely fast. Although their speed was not as fast as Morong Qingqing, the 3 of them worked together to suppress her, making it impossible for her to get close to Sky Hunter Master. Hee. After getting rid of Morong Qingqing, Sky Hunter Master turned his head to look at the Dream-Eating Wolf. The Dream-Eating Wolf was still struggling. Even though it was covered in wounds and the blood had made its red fur even brighter, it still did not give up. It even tried its best to open all of the eyes on its forehead as wide as possible, letting out an even thicker dim light. It is useless. Although Sky Hunter Master said that, his eyes were still a bit absent-minded. He was shocked, so he hurried to bite his tongue and push his martial will to its limit, battling against the dim light. Meanwhile, he clenched his fist, and the golden thorns around the Dream-Eating Wolf tightened, stabbing deep into its body.
What?
The Dream-Eating Wolf screamed into the sky. You are looking for death. From afar, Yi Chen saw this scene, and his eyes turned cold. His body flashed once, turning into a beam of sword light and flying out. How could he take care of the eagle beast so quickly? Because Sky Hunter Master was focused on fighting against the Dream-Eating Wolf's dream erosion, he did not pay any attention to Yi Chen. It was not until Yi Chen flew over that he realized it. Damn it, the second he was distracted, the Dream-Eating Wolf's dream erosion became more and more violent, which made him lose his focus. It scared him so much that he immediately stopped paying attention to Yi Chen. I can't let this go on anymore. Sky Hunter Master raised up his palm, trying to knock the Dream-Eating Wolf out. One finger shattering the void. Yi Chen reached out his left index finger and pointed at Sky Hunter Master from afar.
Pop.
The blue hand shrunk the distance between them, appearing right in front of Sky Hunter Master within a second. That horrifying space power made his protective Zhenyuan dim and twist intensely. Damn it! Damn it! Sky Hunter Master hated it so much that he was grinding his teeth. Just one more step, and he would be able to get the Dream-Eating Wolf. As long as he could tame the Dream-Eating Wolf, together with all of his beasts, any Master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors would not be able to do anything to him. Yi Chun, I will remember you. Sky Hunter Master left without hesitation. He flapped his colorful wings, instantly getting away from the Dream-Eating Wolf and shooting into the distance. He did not even care about the 3 beasts that he had released. Where do you think you are going? Murong Qingqing saw that Yi Chun had arrived, so she let out a breath of relief. Then, the black bat wings on her back flapped once again, twisting the space pattern into an arc shoe. Under the siege of the 3 beasts, Murong Qingqing's body disappeared without a trace. In front of Sky Hunter Master, a huge black light poured out as a pitch-black finger pointed at his forehead. You are looking for death. Sky Hunter Master formed a claw with his right hand and threw out a claw attack.
Boom.
The shockwave swept across the sky. Murong Qingqing had blood dripping out from the corner of her mouth as she was blown backward. Although Sky Hunter Master did not back out, he was still frozen where he was. Shoo! The sword light flashed once, and Yi Chun appeared in front of Sky Hunter Master. You cannot run away now, Yi Chun said coldly. Sky Hunter Master was enraged. Little brat, do you really think that you can stop me by yourself? If I, Sky Hunter Master, want to leave, no one can stop me. Then his body split into 2. 2 identical Sky Hunter Masters appeared. Even their soul auras were the same. It was impossible to tell which one was the real one. The 2 Sky Hunter Masters flew in different directions, one on the left and one on the right. Yi Chun was not affected at all. His body moved and also split into 2 figures. Although these 2 figures did not have the same soul aura, other than the soul aura, it was still impossible to tell which one was the real one. Yi Chun on the left held his gold sword and flew out, stabbing towards one of the Sky Hunter Masters. The extreme speed of the sword made his body look like a phantom in the water.
Swoosh.
There was no blood. This Sky Hunter Master was fake. The other Yi Chun chased closely behind the real one. His speed was obviously faster. Little brat, you will not have a good ending if you go too far. You should not say that to me. If I manage to escape today, I will pay you back 10 times in the future. Sky Hunter Master's figure split into 2 again. Shadow explosion. This time, Yi Chun did not create any clones. He exploded directly, and countless black shadows shot out, drowning Sky Hunter Master and his clones within. There was a golden sword chi moving within the black shadows, followed by colorful claw shadows. Knowing that he could not escape, Sky Hunter Master's eyes were filled with hatred. He started to fight with Yi Chun, pushing his power to the extreme. Unfortunately, his power was only slightly higher than that of Demon Master. The reason why Demon Master had asked for him was because he had a lot of beasts. With the help of beasts, Sky Hunter Master's power was way beyond Lin Tian and Lan Xiecheng. Although he was not as powerful as the top 5 young warriors, it would not take them only 1 or 2 attacks to kill him. He had sent out 3 of his most powerful beasts to fight against Murong Qingqing, and they would not be able to make it in time. Without a powerful beast, the Sky Hunter Master could only send out some of the weaker beasts to fight against Yi Chun. However, they were all cut in half by Yi Chun's sword attack. Soon, even he himself had lost an arm. Shoo! The golden sword light shone in the sky as Yi Chun appeared behind Sky Hunter Master while holding the sword with both of his hands. There was a faint blood mark on his neck. As the wind blew, Sky Hunter Master's head flew up into the sky. Blood sprayed out like a fountain. Chapter 6:22. I will not accept this. The head that had shot up into the sky let out an extremely venomous roar before stopping abruptly. Yi Chun shook his head. If he had known this earlier, he would not have gotten involved in this mess. Putting away the Sky Hunter Master's storage ring, Yi Chun flicked out his finger. An extremely sharp green lotus sword chi shot out, shattering the golden thorns on the dream-eating wolf's body. The dream-eating wolf got out, growling at Yi Chen as the wounds on its body slowly healed. "You've done well. There will be a reward for you." Nodding satisfyingly, Yi Chen flew toward Murong Qingqing. "Are you alright?" Murong Qingqing shook her head. "I'm alright, but I let the tyrant bear escape." After being blown away by Murong Qingqing's sky demon finger, the tyrant bear knew that it was not good, so it escaped immediately. On the other hand, Murong Qingqing had to deal with the Sky Hunter Master, so she did not chase after it. Yi Chen said, "It's just a demonic beast. It's not a big deal." No matter how powerful the tyrant bear was, it was only a demonic beast. Its intelligence was limited, and it was not as cunning as the Een Demon Master and the Sky Hunter Master. Therefore, it would not be much of a threat to Yi Chen. "Come, let's go underground." The purpose of this trip was the Phoenix Plume Tree, and Yi Chen would not forget it. Instead of going down through the tunnel, the two men and the wolf directly penetrated the ground and arrived at a depth of more than 6,000 meters below the main peak of Mount Wanxiong.
Whoosh.
The sound of flowing water came from an underground river of unknown length. The river was more than 100 meters wide. Beside the rocks by the river, there was a 3-meter-tall multicolored tree. Red was the main color of the tree, making it look magnificent and noble. "This is the Phoenix Plume Tree?" The gazes of the two humans and one wolf were focused on the colorful tree. This tree was different from ordinary trees. Its entire body seemed to be made of red jade, and its surface emitted a multicolored glow. It didn't have many branches, but it was just right. At the joints of some branches, there were fruits hanging down. These fruits looked like bananas, but they were flatter than bananas. They were about a foot long, and there were patterns of phoenix tails engraved on the surface. The astonishing spiritual energy fluctuations caused the origin energy here to be much denser. It was a good place to meditate and cultivate. One phoenix plume fruit is equivalent to 1,000 years of maturity. There are 12 phoenix plume fruits here, which means they are at least 12,000 years old. Seeing the phoenix plume tree and the phoenix plume fruit, Murong Qingqing heaved a sigh of relief. "Woo woo woo." The dream-eating wolf wagged its tail. Although it was its first time seeing the phoenix plume fruit, the smell it emitted made it feel very comfortable. Yi Chen said, "The phoenix plume fruit can strengthen your body and heal any internal injuries. At the same time, it also has the effect of nourishing yin and yang. You still can't take it?" He originally wanted to let Murong Qingqing refine some of the dragon blood plants and extract the dragon power inside. It should be known that Murong Qingqing's demon body was much stronger than the spirit body. A rank 2 demon body was even stronger than a rank 3 spirit body, so it could hold more dragon power. Murong Qingqing said, "Spirit plants and pellets that are useful to human warriors are basically useless to me. Only those medicinal herbs that are close to the demons are useful to me." After knowing that she couldn't refine the dragon blood plants, she understood that she had embarked on a completely different path from human warriors. That's too bad. Yi Chen patted the dream-eating wolf's head and flew to the side of the phoenix plume tree. Up. With a wave of his right hand, an unparalleled power acted on the phoenix plume tree and the surrounding area.
Boom.
The underground river surged violently, and the phoenix plume tree and the surrounding land were uprooted and floated in the air. However, the phoenix plume fruit on the phoenix plume tree didn't move at all, as if it was embedded in the tree.
Bang.
Holding a phoenix plume fruit in his left hand, Yi Chen pulled it with all his strength. The powerful force acted on the phoenix plume fruit, and he barely managed to pick it off. At the same time, the sound of steel breaking could be heard. "It's too tight. Even with 100,000 pounds of strength, I can barely pick it off." Yi Chen was secretly shocked.
Here.
Yi Chen threw the phoenix plume fruit to the dream-eating wolf. The dream-eating wolf jumped up and bit on the phoenix plume fruit. The wounds on its body had not fully recovered yet, and it needed time to recover. With the phoenix plume fruit, it would not have to worry about that anymore. Plus, the phoenix plume fruit could make its body even stronger, and it could also nourish its qi and blood. So big, I guess it can barely fit in a mid-rank storage ring. I still need a top-rank storage ring. Otherwise, when I have more things in the future, I won't have anywhere to put them. Although a storage ring could be put into a storage ring, a low-rank storage ring had too little space and could not hold too big of a thing. Even if you had 10,000 of them, they would only be able to hold soul stones. If I had a top-rank storage ring, all of these problems would be solved, since the storage space of a top-rank storage ring was 10 times bigger than a mid-rank one. Yi Chun had dozens of mid-rank storage rings, and they were all taken from his enemies. Of course, they were all dead. However, he had never seen a top-rank storage ring before. It seemed that a storage ring with such a huge space was extremely rare and could not be bought even with soul stones. Putting away the phoenix plume tree, Yichen put the dream-eating wolf back into the beast tag and let it recover slowly. Once it recovered, he would give it the wind fire pellet. Now, I only need the skull flower. Yichen let out a long breath. Yeah. Murong Qingqing nodded, her face full of hope. The barbarian race has a strong culture of martial arts. The best weapons for the barbarian warriors are spears and bows. Normally, they would put poison on the tips of the spears and arrowheads, which could kill with one attack. Maybe we can find the skull flower in the barbarian mountains. The skeleton flower was different from other herbs. It was a type of extremely poisonous herb. The higher the age, the more poisonous it was. A 10,000-year-old skeleton flower was second only to the world's most poisonous herb. However, a 10,000-year-old skeleton flower was not easy to find. They only needed a 5,000-year-old skeleton flower. Leaving the mountain, the two flew towards the nearest barbarian tribe. This should be the poisonous mountain where this barbarian tribe grows the poisonous plants. On the edge of a mountain with colorful miasma, a man and a woman appeared quietly. They were indeed Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing, who were looking for the skull flower. There were big and small barbarian tribes. The big ones had millions of people, while the small ones only had tens of thousands of people. The tribe that the two had chosen was a tribe with 200,000 people. According to the map, it was called the Iron Flower Tribe. Barbarian warriors liked to coat their weapons with poison, but that didn't mean they weren't afraid of it. Not to mention, it wasn't just a matter of one or two poisonous plants. It required thousands of poisonous plants. Obviously, it was very dangerous to cultivate poisonous plants in the tribe. Therefore, the barbarian tribes would usually choose a mountain nearby and cultivate poisonous plants there. Because of the poisonous plants gathering together, the poisonous gas would fill the air and create an extremely poisonous miasma, which would become a natural barrier. Ordinary demonic beasts wouldn't dare to come close. Of course, there would be a lot of barbarian warriors guarding around the mountain. Even if they were not afraid of the poison, it would not be easy to sneak in. Not far away from the two, there was a group of barbarian warriors patrolling. The highest cultivation is only at the astral reaching realm, and the rest are all clasping Yuan realm warriors. In case of alerting them, we should be careful. Of course, they could take it by force, but it would not last long. Plus, the barbarians did not have any conflicts with them, so they did not want to have any conflicts with the Iron Flower tribe. Let's go. The colorful miasma could not penetrate the protective Zhenyuan of Sea of Souls realm warriors, so the two sneaked into the miasma and arrived at the poisonous mountain. There was a building on top of the mountain, which was covered in a light layer. There were still barbarian warriors patrolling inside. Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing could even sense a couple of Sea of Souls realm Zhenyuan vibrations on top of a tower in the middle of the building. Not here. Not here, either. Let's go check the other side. Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing were very good at hiding, so they were not discovered by the Sea of Souls realm warriors in the building. Occasionally, there would be soul power scanning over, but it would be sensed by Yi Chun beforehand. He would then use Murong Qingqing's dark profound to hide from them. After a couple of hours, Yi Chun, over here. Murong Qingqing found the skull flowers in the middle of the mountain. It was a huge area, and with a rough look, there were at least thousands of them. Black poisonous qi was being emitted from the flowers, which gathered in the air and formed into a huge skull. Yi Chun had also arrived. Let's search and see if there are any 5,000 years old ones. After the time it took to brew a pot of tea, the two were full of disappointment. Among the thousands of skull flowers, there were only 30,000 years old ones. There was not even one 2,000 years old, not to mention 5,000 years old ones. After plucking more than 20 skeleton flowers that were more than 1,000 years old, the two of them left the poison mountain quietly and arrived outside the multicolored miasma. Far away from the Iron Flower tribe, Yichen studied the skull flowers in his hand and said, "The Iron Flower tribe is a small tribe. Right now, we will have to go check out some of the mid-sized tribes." Since there were skull flowers in the Iron Flower tribe, then the other tribes must have some as well. The only question would be if there were any skull flowers above 5,000 years old. On the third day, the two arrived at the Bronze Tiger tribe. The population of the Bronze Tiger tribe was 3 times that of the Iron Flower tribe, which was 700,000 to 800,000 people. The Poison Mountain near the tribe was also bigger than the Iron Flower tribes. There were thousands of barbarian warriors guarding around the Poison Mountain, each of them holding long spears and carrying huge bows on their backs, looking extremely evil. Inside the Poison Mountain, 2 shadows were moving around sneakily. There are no 5,000 years old skull flowers. The oldest one is only 2,800 years old. Do I really have to go to those big tribes? Yichen was very scared of the big tribes. In this true spirit continent, the number of barbarians was way smaller than the human population, which was only 1 out of 10,000 of the human population. In other words, all of the barbarians added together would only be a few 100 million or a billion. However, although there were not many of them, the chance of them having powerful warriors was thousands of times higher than the human population. So, there might be a chance of life and death realm warriors in the big tribes. There are hundreds of big tribes, so it would be impossible for every tribe to have a barbarian king. I heard that there would not be a lot of barbarian kings added together, which would be way less than the human population. The chance of running into a barbarian king should not be that high, maybe 1%. The skull flower was something that they had to get, so Yichen would not give up on it. Let's go. Let's go to the big tribes. Yichen turned around and said to Murong Qingcheng. Chapter 6:23. The Battle Halberd tribe was one of the big tribes among the barbarian tribes. It had a population of 2,800,000, and its territory was more than 300,000 miles, just like a barbarian country. The Battle Halberd tribe did not have just one gathering place. Just like how human countries were divided into many cities, the Battle Halberd tribe was also divided into more than 10 towns. In the middle of these towns was the main city of the Battle Halberd tribe called the Battle Halberd City. And the Poison Mountain of the Battle Halberd tribe was right next to the Battle Halberd City. Around the Poison Mountain, there were a shocking number of barbarians patrolling. Every 1,000 meters there was a row of watchtowers, and every 5,000 meters there was a huge fortress. There were also some flying beasts that the barbarians were raising flying around in the sky, giving people a feeling that they had nowhere to attack. Not far from them, under the shadow of a rock mountain, 2 black shadows were faintly discernible, combining with the shadow. There are too many barbarian warriors, and there are so many flying beasts in the sky. There are also some hidden defenses that we don't know about. Yichen frowned. Facing this kind of situation, he almost had no idea what to do. After all, he could not use his soul power to check around. Even if he did, he might not be able to enter the Poison Mountain within a second without being noticed. Let's go to other places to check, Murong Qingcheng suggested. They went to a few places, and they were all equally well guarded. Some of them were even several times more tightly guarded. Obviously, they were important places.
No rush.
Let's talk about it at night. At night, Yichen's Shadow Profound could be used to its limit, and so could Murong Qingcheng's Dark Profound. With the cover of the night, it should not be a problem for them to enter the Poison Mountain. The night came, and a waning moon rose up slowly. From time to time, there were lotus clouds blocking the moonlight, making the whole place pitch black. Let's go. The second the waning moon was covered by the lotus clouds, Yichen's body moved like a shadow, flying close to the ground without making any sound. Murong Qingqing spread her wings and flew high up. Under the effect of her dark profound, she had merged with the night sky, making no sound at all. Without raising any alarm, the two smoothly passed through the poisonous gas and entered the Poison Mountain. The Poison Mountain was huge, and there were many of them. There were some poisonous beasts and beasts in the mountain, but there were not many of them, and their ranks were not that high either. Late at night, the two of them finally found the location of the skeleton flower. So many skeleton flowers. In a valley that was neither too big nor too small, skull flowers grew densely. It was impossible to count them all. Above the valley, illusory skulls appeared, very strange. 3,800 years, 4,500 years, 4,900 years, 5,500 years. There really is a skeleton flower that is over 5,000 years old. Yichen looked around and immediately discovered a relatively large skeleton flower. The black aura that this flower emitted was as dense as water. If it was daytime, it would definitely look like spilled ink. I also have a 6,000-year-old skeleton flower here. Murong Qingqing transmitted her voiceover. Yichen replied, "Pick a few more, just in case."
Pop.
The two had only picked a couple of skeleton flowers when a couple of the illusory skulls floating above the valley suddenly disappeared. It turned out that these skulls were formed by the poisonous qi, and the skeleton flowers were the source of the poisonous qi. Now that a couple of the most mature ones had been taken away, it caused a change immediately. Screech. On a tall mountain far away, a beast bird with sharp eyes saw the change in the valley and screeched into the sky. The sound was very penetrating. Not good. Let's go. Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing rushed out of the valley. Their bodies flashed once as they shot out, activating their shadow profound and dark profound respectively to hide their aura.
Who is it?
There was a building in the Poison Mountain, and a huge group of barbarians flew out of it. The leader was obviously a peak-level late Sea of Souls realm barbarian, and his Zhen Yuan vibration was very powerful. Soon, a huge soul power spread out toward the direction where Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing were flying. Obviously, although Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing had powerful profound, they could not escape from the senses of a peak-level late Sea of Souls realm barbarian, who was able to detect the two immediately. Some humans have broken in. Seal them up immediately. The Poison Mountain was only 100 miles wide, which was more than enough for growing poisonous plants. But for Sea of Souls realm warriors, one scan would be able to cover 100 miles. This barbarian spread out his soul power and talked to the nearest Sea of Souls realm barbarian. "You are looking for death. Humans dare to break into our Poison Mountain?" The Sea of Souls realm barbarians outside were furious. They all rushed toward the designated location, blocking the path that Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing were trying to break through.
Who?
Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing rushed out of the poisonous miasma, but what greeted them were countless sharp arrows that shone with a cold light or solidified spear lights. Darkness sky. Murong Qingqing put up a black shield, blocking out the sharp arrows and spear lights. Fly into the sky. Yi Chun held Murong Qingqing's hand, flying toward the clouds above the Poison Mountain. They were fast like a rainbow, leaving a light trace under the moonlight. Huh. How could the Sea of Souls realm barbarians let them go so easily? They pushed their Zhen Yuan and chased after them. Gradually, most of the weaker Sea of Souls realm barbarians had been left behind, so they had to give up. Only one barbarian with the highest cultivation was left, which was indeed horrifying. Although he was only at peak-level late Sea of Souls realm, his Zhen Yuan was way more powerful than normal peak-level late Sea of Souls realm warriors. He seemed to be accumulating Zhen Yuan to prepare for the life and death realm. Barbarian King Palm Print. The barbarian realized that he couldn't catch up with Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing in a short time. So, he pressed his huge fan-like palm in the air, and a thick and hazy illusory palm print emerged, rushing towards the two. All of a sudden, the wind blew, the clouds rolled, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. The air rippled like water, pushing the two sides. So powerful. I am afraid he is not that far away from the half-step barbarian king realm. The life and death realm was not that easy to reach, and countless people had been stuck at this bottleneck. But some of the more determined people could reach the half-step king warrior level after decades, or even hundreds of years of training. Although half-step king warriors were not as powerful as life and death realm warriors, they were still way more powerful than master-level Sea of Souls realm warriors. For example, Sun Tai, the leader of the Southern Shallow Water Ape race, was a half-step beast king, and his power was immeasurable. Right now, Yichen could not compete with half-step barbarian king warriors, even if it were the top 5 young warriors. Thunder Devour. Turning around suddenly, Yichen crossed his 2 swords in front of him, and the thunder ball landed on that illusory palm print.
Boom.
The blast wave swept across the sky, and Yichen's whole body was blown away. His speed had increased by more than 2 times, but he reacted extremely fast, grabbing onto Murong Qingcheng and bringing her along with him. Using the momentum, they managed to get away from that barbarian who was chasing after them. Cunning human. An angry expression flashed past the barbarian's face. Barbarian King roar. Like a whale sucking in water, the barbarian sucked in the air and clouds within thousands of meters around him. Then, his eyes popped out as he opened his mouth to let out a shocking sound wave. It contained his Zhenyuan that was close to the life and death realm. Once it was let out, the whole sky turned bright white.
Boom.
The next second, a doomsday-like explosion was heard. The sound wave spread out at hundreds of times faster than the speed of sound, covering Yichen and Murong Qingcheng immediately.
Pooh.
The two puked out a mouthful of blood. The sound wave was like a high-frequency vibration machine, which had shaken their bodies thousands of times within a second. If it were not for Yichen's rank 3 spirit body and dragon power, and Murong Qingcheng's rank 2 demon body, that roar would have wounded them badly and made them lose their battling power. The high-frequency vibration had also stopped the two's Zhenyuan from operating, and their speed had decreased drastically. It seemed like they were about to be caught up. Dream-eating wolf, come out. Yichen was about to summon the dream-eating wolf and have a great battle with the barbarian. As long as the barbarian's willpower had not reached rank 5, the dream-eating wolf might be able to make him enter the dreamland. Therefore, it was still uncertain who would have the upper hand. Plus, besides his own power and the dream-eating wolf, he still had another ace up his sleeve. Unless it was a life and death situation, he would not use it. Yichen, I have a way to escape. Murong Qingcheng grabbed Yichen's hand, which was about to hit the beast tag. You have a way? Yichen looked over. Yeah. Murong Qingcheng nodded, then grabbed Yichen's hand and held it tightly.
Boom.
The black bat wings on Murong Qingcheng's back started to flap violently. At the same time, a shockingly powerful demon power spread out, blowing away all the air in the sky. This demon power was way beyond the Sea of Souls realm and seemed to be at the life and death realm. Demon power essence. Yichen immediately realized that this demon power vibration belonged to that ancient demon king's demon power essence. It seemed like Murong Qingcheng had not refined all of it, only a part of it. But then again, it made sense. The demon power essence of the ancient demon king was extremely powerful, and with Murong Qingcheng's cultivation, she would not be able to refine it all. The barbarian, who was not far away from the two, looked shocked. He could feel that this vibration was a huge threat to him. There must be something strange going on, but it is not enough to scare me. The barbarian reached out his palm and performed his barbarian king palm print again. This time, the barbarian king palm print missed its target, because Murong Qingcheng and Yichen disappeared from where they were standing like shadows. Within a blink of an eye, they were already hundreds of miles away. Then, they flashed again, and even his soul power could not sense them anymore. How is this possible? This speed has almost reached the limit of the space. The barbarian's eyes were wide open, his face full of disbelief. The space of this true spirit continent had a limit. Once one's speed reached a certain level, it would not be able to increase anymore. But of course, it was not impossible because once one's speed exceeded the limit of the space, one would be able to escape into the surreal space, where one's speed would not be restricted. It was also why life and death realm warriors would travel in the surreal space, since it was not something they wanted to do. Never mind, there are no treasures in this poison mountain, only some poisonous plants. Even if I lose some of the important ones, it will not hurt me at all. Shaking his head, the barbarian flew back the way he came. 500 miles away, a huge black light poured out, and Yi Chun and Murong Qingqing jumped out. Murong Qingqing's face was very pale. With her power right now, she still could not control the demon power essence. Even using a bit of it would be a huge burden. Chapter 6:24. The rest of the demon power essence should be used as little as possible. The demon yuan qi in this land is very rare. If you want to increase your cultivation quickly, you'll have to rely on the demon power essence. Yichen saw that Murong Qingqing was fine, so he said. Murong Qingqing nodded. This land was a human land. Not to mention the demon yuan qi, even some of the demon element medicines were very rare. Therefore, it would be hard to increase her cultivation with external items, and it would not last long. But with the demon power essence, she could at least increase her cultivation to peak level late seas of Soul's realm. 1 year has passed. Let's go back to the South Rudra region. Other than the ant king grass, all the other ingredients had been found. The ant king grass could also be replaced by the black ant grass. If nothing went wrong, it should be possible. After all, the ant king grass was not the main ingredient for the shadowless poison. It was just a supplementary ingredient. Taking out the flying puppet, the two sat on it and flew toward the south. After 1 month, Murong family in the South Rudra region. What? You have found all the materials for the antidote? Murong Jishui was very surprised. In fact, he had not been idle during this half a year either. He had used all of his family's power to search for the materials, even spending a huge amount of spirit stones to buy information. In his eyes, Su Ruhui and Murong Qingqing were his everything. Nothing was more important than them. What he did not expect was that within half a year, the two had already found all the materials. Even with all of his family's power, he had only managed to find less than 1/10 of the materials. Murong Qingqing said, "It is all Yi Chen's credit. When I went to the Sky Martial region to find him, he had already found most of the materials." Murong Jishui looked at Yi Chen gratefully. "Thank you. It seems like it was the right decision to let you take care of Qingqing. You are a responsible person." Yi Chen did not know what to say. A blush appeared on Murong Qingqing's face. "Uncle, here are all the materials." Yi Chen took out a low-rank storage ring and handed it over to Murong Jishui, which contained all of the ingredients for the antidote, but we did not find the ant king plant, only a couple of black ant plants. I wonder if they could be used as a replacement? Murong Jishui smiled and said, "I don't know if I can replace it, but it doesn't matter. I have a lot of ant king grass here." He had bought it at an auction. That's good. Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing heaved a sigh of relief. Now that everything was ready, all that was left was the east wind. "All right, I will make the antidote for the shadowless poison. You guys find a place to rest. Qingqing, I'll leave Yi Chen to you." Now that he had all the materials, Murong Jishui was in a much better mood, and his face glowed with glory. "Father, hurry up and refine the antidote." Murong Qingqing pushed Murong Jishui. All right, I will go now." Making the antidote for the shadowless poison was not hard for Murong Jishui, since the shadowless poison was created by the demi-demon family in the early days. The recipe and method of making the antidote had been passed down. During this period of time, Murong Jishui had practiced countless times in his head, trying to make sure that nothing went wrong. Once Murong Jishui left, there were only Yi Chen and Murong Qingqing in the living room. "I have not seen the scenery here yet. Take me around." Yi Chen chuckled. It was time for him to relax a bit. In the next couple of days, Murong Jishui tried his best to make the antidote for the shadowless poison. He shut himself in the house, while Murong Qingqing brought Yi Chen to travel around the Murong family. A lot of people from the Murong family had seen the two of them walking around hand in hand. It seems like warrior Yi Chen will be the future son-in-law of our Morong family. Miss is a famous beauty. Warrior Yi is so lucky. You can't say that. Right now, Warrior Yi is famous in the Sky Martial region, second only to the top 5 young warriors. Only he is good enough for Mississippi, that's true. On this day, Yi Chen suggested, I have been back for a few days. I want to go see my parents. Do you want to come? Yes. Morong Qingqing thought that it was also time for her to meet Yi Chen's parents. Windy Nation. In the living room of the Yi family, Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing were sitting in the main seats, while Yi Chen and Morong Qingqing were sitting in the lower seats. Miss Qingqing, this time, you must stay for a few more days. I want to chat with you, Shen Yuqing said to Morong Qingqing gently. Morong Qingqing was a bit flattered. Her face without the black veil was glowing. Auntie, you can just call me Qingqing. As long as you don't mind me, I don't care how many days I stay here. Hee, why would I mind you? Shen Yuqing laughed. There are not many girls as beautiful as you. Seeing Morong Qingqing's real face, Yi Tianhao and Shen Yuqing were both shocked. What kind of spirit chi would it take to give birth to such a beautiful face? Both of them were very happy that Yi Chen had brought back such a beautiful wife. After all, their son was a dragon among men, and was not something normal people could compete with. Even those normal rich people could have 3 wives and 4 concubines, and all of them were beautiful like flowers. How could their son fall behind? Right then, Yi Tianhao winked at Shen Yuqing. Shen Yuqing seemed to have thought of something. He took out a jade pendant with a purple glow and innate cloud patterns from his storage ring. He walked down and handed it to Morong Qingqing. Qingqing, this innate magic cloud jade is our Yi family's heirloom. I will give it to you now. Thank you, Auntie. Morong Qingqing happily accepted it. Dad, Mom, where is Big Brother? Happy footsteps were heard. 2 kids around 7 or 8 years old ran in. It was Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao. 2 little guys. Shen Yuqing smiled helplessly. These little guys couldn't stay still. They had been running around the Yi family and playing with the other kids. They must have heard that Yi Chen had come back. Yi Chen held his brother and sister in each hand and joked, much heavier. Yi Xian said, Big brother, other people's brothers and sisters come back often. Why don't you come back often?
Yeah.
Yi Xiaoxiao stared at Yi Chen with her eyes wide open. Yi Chen said, You will know when you grow up. Grow up? We are already grown up. Yi Tianhao joked, You are still bothering your big brother when you are grown up? Hearing this, Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao made a face. On the side, Morong Qingqing laughed. Kids were indeed fun. She wondered what Yi Chen was like when he was a kid. Seeing his happy family, Yi Chen was very satisfied. In this world, he already had a happy family. All that was left was to become stronger and explore the mysteries of the universe. Plus, only by becoming stronger could he protect his family and the people around him. The Yi family in the Misty Mountain was huge. Beside the sparkling lake, Yi Chen was training with his sword. Beams of golden light flowed along the surface of his body, jumping onto the normal long sword and waving it around. The taste is not right. It should be more natural. It is too aggressive. It has ruined the harmony of the gold pattern. Training again and again, Yi Chen's understanding deepened again and again. In a pavilion hundreds of meters away, Morong Qingqing and Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao were together, watching Yi Chen train with his sword. Big brother is so hardworking. I want to be like him in the future. Yi Xian clenched his small fists. Morong Qingqing said, You can start working hard when you are 10. Yi Chen's hard work indeed made her sigh. When she first met him, he was just a martial genius who was not that powerful. But every time they met, she could see his improvement, and his fame was getting bigger and bigger. From the South Rudra region to the Southern region, and then from the Southern region to the Sky Martial region, he was always shining brightly. Shoo! Shoo! The sound of air being torn apart was heard as the sword light spread out. I need to have the softness of water and the sharpness of metal. The two complement each other. Only then will it be complete. But it is not that easy. Putting away his sword, Yi Chen slowly let out a breath. Let's go. I will take you guys out to play. Since he could not make a breakthrough, Yichen did not force himself. In terms of comprehension, it was impossible to force it. It was all about the flow of water, and the flow of water. Flying over the Yi family, Yichen made a slight noise. His body twisted and landed back in the Yi family. However, it was not his yard, but a side-branched disciple's yard. Inside the yard, this side-branched disciple was also training his sword art. His sword was a soft sword, so the sword art he trained leaned towards the gentle water element. Sword light danced in the yard, the gentle sword light like the moonlight mirage in the water, gathering and dispersing, making people feel intoxicated. Soft sword, gentle sword light. As a master-level Sea of Souls realm warrior, Yichen did not attract the other's attention at all. Instead, he seemed to be in a trance as he stared at the other's sword art. Murong Qingqing landed with Yi Xian and Yi Xiaoxiao, using Jin Yuan to isolate an area. She knew that Yichen was comprehending something and could not be disturbed. After finishing a set of sword art, this side-branched disciple wiped off his sweat and was about to put away his sword when he suddenly sensed someone training beside him. When he realized that it was Yi Chen, he immediately held his breath, not daring to make any movements.
Who was Yi Chen?
He was a legendary figure in the South Rudra region and even the whole southern region, a genius sword artist and the pride of the Yi family. Even if he was more excited, he knew that he could not disturb Yi Chen. Soft sword is soft, like water. But no matter how soft it is still a sword, sharp beyond compare. Yes, this is the feeling. Yichen sank into the training of the gold pattern as if he was possessed. Gradually, a golden pattern spread out in the yard. It was not sword light, nor was it sword qi. Instead, it was formed by Yi Chen's qi, which was very magical. As the golden pattern became more and more numerous, it became softer and softer, and its destructive power started to show. Soon, everything in the yard was turned into dust. At the critical moment, Murong Qingqing pushed out her Jinyuan to protect this side branch disciple. Go. After an unknown period of time, Yichen waved out his sword, and the golden pattern spread out. Not to mention this side branch disciple, even Murong Qingqing thought that it was the real water pattern, but it was golden color. Facing this attack, there was no way to block it, and one could only defend passively. As for whether one could block it or not, it would be another story. Swoosh. There was a small green water in the yard, and under Yi Chen's sword attack, it was immediately split open. The most surprising thing was that after the green water was split open, it did not close up, as if it had always been like this. Moreover, the cut surface was so soft that it did not look like it had been split open by a sharp weapon. Finally completed, Yi Chen stopped training. Turning around, Yi Chen saw the disciples of the side branch of the Yi family whose faces were all red. What is your name? Yi Chen asked. Yi Xiaoshui. Yi Chen revealed a smile and said, your sword art is not bad. For him to be able to complete the gold pattern, it was all thanks to him. Of course, it was also because he was training with a soft sword. If it were another sword, he would not have been able to comprehend it. Chapter 6:25. Being complimented by Yi Chen, Yi Xiaoshui was extremely excited. Although Yi Chen was about the same age as him, there was a huge gap between them. One was a Seas of Souls realm warrior, while the other was only an early clasping Yuan realm warrior. One was famous throughout the whole true spirit continent, while the other was not even that famous in the Windy Nation. Being complimented by Yi Chen was undoubtedly something that many of the new warriors had been dreaming about. This Sky Water Sword spell is for you. If you can master it, very few warriors under the late clasping Yuan realm would be able to compete with you. Taking out a book with a blue cover, Yi Chen handed it over to Yi Xiaoshui. Sky Water Sword spell. For me? Yi Xiaoshui knew that it was something special once he heard the name, so he took over the book excitedly. All right, I won't disturb your rest anymore. After giving the book to Yi Xiaoshui, Yi Chen left the Yi family with Murong Qingqing, Yi Xian, and Yi Xiaoxiao. Meanwhile, Yi Xiaoshui still felt like he was dreaming, watching Yi Chen's back as he walked away. Only when Yi Chen and the other three disappeared from his sight did he come back to his senses. First Sky True Water Sword Art. I wonder what grade it is. Yi Xiaoshui opened the cover and read, Sky Water Sword Spell, High Rank Earth Realm Sword Art. There are 16 movements in total, and the last movement is powerful enough to compete with top-rank Earth Realm Sword movements. It is actually a high-rank Earth Realm Sword Art, and it is one of the top ones. Normally, if the last movement could be one rank higher, it meant that this sword art would be the top one among all the other sword arts of the same rank. Although there were a lot of secret manuals in the Yi family, including many secret manuals of sword arts, his talent was not top-notch. At most, he could learn low-rank Earth Realm sword arts. If he could have a mid-rank Earth Realm sword art, he would be satisfied. As for high-rank Earth Realm sword arts, it was something he could only dream of. He did not expect that at this moment, he would actually have a high-rank Earth Realm sword art in his hands. He was so excited that he could not speak. In fact, he did not know that if it were not for his talent and comprehensive ability, Yi Chen was planning to give him a top-rank Earth Realm sword art. For Yi Chen, top-rank Earth Realm martial arts were not that precious anyway, so it was normal for him to give one out once in a while. After all, it was because of him that Yi Chen was able to train his gold pattern to completion, which was not something that a top-rank Earth Realm martial art could compare with. However, it also depended on the target. If he gave a top-rank Earth Realm sword art to Yi Chen, who knew when he would be able to learn it? What Yi Chen did not know was that his small action today had brought another famous sword artist to the Yi family. But of course, that was a story for another time. Last time, Li Zhao from the Evil Blood Martial School from the Rudra Nation beat me with only 3 attacks, relying on his high-rank sword art. 3 months. Give me 3 months, I will definitely teach him a lesson. Because of Yi Chen, the young generation of the Windy Nation had all set their sights on the outside world. They were no longer complacent and arrogant. They all had a common understanding, which was that if they wanted to improve, they would have to go out and compete with the others, since the outside world was huge. After the completion of his gold pattern, Yi Chen finally let go of everything else and took his brother and sister to travel around, with Murong Qingcheng accompanying him. The places to travel were not only limited to the Windy Nation, but also a lot of countries in the South Rudra region that they had never been to before. They even left their footprints in some of the famous historical sites, along with the laughter of Yi Xiaoxiao and Yi Xian. Of course, they returned after 2 days. On this day, something happened that shocked the entire South Rudra region. In every city in every country in the South Rudra region, there was a store with the name Knowledge Pavilion on it. Some of them were newly built, and some were renovated from other buildings. But, without exception, they were all very spacious and luxurious. And there was only one kind of product inside, which was books. What kind of books? The book with the name Master Warrior Ranking written on the cover. As for what a Master Warrior was, besides some of the normal people who had never seen the world, everyone knew about it. There were 72 Grandmasters listed on the Grandmaster ranking, and every one of them was terrifyingly strong, capable of instantly killing an ordinary Grandmaster. After all, there were so many Grandmasters in the world, at least a few thousand. The 72 were naturally the elites of the elites, the Grandmasters of the Grandmasters. Once the ranking appeared in the South Rudra region, it immediately caused a great sensation. In fact, the South Rudra region was already a few days late. The Sky Martial region had released the ranking first, which was on the 10th of October. But it was already December, which was a month late. After all, the true spirit continent was way too big, and it would be impossible for the whole continent to have the ranking appear at the same time. But it was only the first time, so it was inevitable that the time would be tight. If the other cities had the ranking, then Luo City would naturally have it as well. Outside of the pavilion, there was an ocean of people. All of the top warriors who had gotten the news had basically arrived, including some of the powerful martial artists who were close by. Haha, I got it. It is not expensive at all. Only 10 low-rank soul stones. I cannot squeeze in. How about we all look at it together? I have not even seen it yet. Why should I contribute it to everyone? Wait until you get it, then we can discuss it together. I will look at it myself first. Fuck, that's so disloyal. Even though they said that, the people who were talking were already trying their best to squeeze in. They were so anxious that they could not wait to get their hands on the ranking. Everyone, don't worry.
There's so many of them.
Everyone has one. 10 low-rank soul stones for one. The manager of the pavilion chuckled. No matter how many people there were, there would be a time when they could get their hands on the ranking. After half an hour, the pavilion finally quieted down. The people coming in and out were not that scary anymore. Of course, it was not that quiet either. Every once in a while, there would be a lot of people coming to buy the ranking. It was just that it was not as crowded as before. In the restaurant, in the tea house, almost every place with a lot of people was talking about the ranking.
Look,
Yi-Chen has made it into the ranking as well. Where is it? Let me see. Ranked 48. At the same time, all of the big cities in the South River region had reached a boiling point. Shopkeeper, give me a copy of the Grandmaster list. Li Daoxian arrived at the pavilion. All right, here you go. The manager took out a brand new ranking book. The words were golden, and the cover was made of leather, which would be hard to destroy. Paying 10 low-rank soul stones, Li Daoxian walked out. Inside a tea house, Li Daoxian stared at the 48th name. There was only one word written on it, Yi-Chen. Below, it were all about Yi-Chen's achievements and achievements. In other cities, Yan Qihua, Bing Ling, and the rest of the young martial geniuses from the same generation as Yi-Chen had all gone to buy the ranking. Without any surprise, they saw Yi-Chen's name. It was not low at all, being 48th. In the whole South region, there were only 4 people in the ranking, and Yi-Chen was the only one in the South River region. Among the 4, Yi-Chen had the highest rank and was also the youngest. The second youngest was already 80 years old, and the remaining 2 were both over 100 years old. Some were even close to 200 years old. Most importantly, among the 72 people in the ranking, there were only 6 who were under 30 years old. It was not hard to imagine how powerful the 48th rank was. Chapter 6:26. Murong Qingqing stayed at the Yi family for a week before going back to the Murong family. Inside the elegant yard, Yi-Chen was drinking tea and reading a book in the pavilion in the middle of the lake, enjoying the lake breeze. The book was the Master Level Warrior ranking, and the tea was one of the most famous ones. Xie Beiding is ranked 5th. With his status in the martial world, as well as the title of the #1 blade artist, he deserves to be ranked 5th. But I did not expect these 4 old monsters to be this powerful. They are all top martial geniuses of their generation. Although they have not reached the life and death realm yet, they should not be underestimated either. Perhaps they are already half-step king warriors. Every generation, there would be a lot of martial geniuses who could not reach the life and death realm, since according to the rules of the past, there would only be 10 king warriors every 100 years. On average, there would be 1 every 10 years. No matter how powerful the others were in their generation, they would never be able to reach the life and death realm. As for half-step king realm, it was not easy to become one either. If one could not become a half-step king within 100 years, then under normal circumstances, it would be impossible to become one for the rest of one's life. Only if one could obtain a rare supreme grade treasure could one have the hope of improving one's constitution and continuing to progress. These 4 old monsters could only be half-step kings, but it was not certain. After all, their ages were all 100 or 200 years old, and some were even older. Who knew if they had become half-step kings before the age of 100? Just like those barbarians who were chasing after Yi-Chen and Murong Qingqing, they were only close to half-step king warrior level, but not yet. 7th, Bai Wuxue. 8th, Lu Xiaoyu. 13th, Xia Hozuan. 18th, Xiao Chuha. 25th, Godly Shark Princess. Next, Yi-Chen saw the ranking of the top 5 young warriors. The top 5 young warriors were all ranked very high. Among them, Bai Wuxue was ranked the highest. He was actually close to Xie Beiding, being ranked 7th. Lu Xiaoyu was ranked 8th, followed by Xia Hozuan, who was ranked 13th, and Xiao Chua, who was ranked 18th. As for the Godly Shark Princess, She was ranked the last among the five, ranked 25th. It seemed like not fighting for a long time would affect her ranking as well. Bai Wushue's battle with Xia Hozuan had made him the leader of the top 5 young warriors. However, Yi Chen did not think that the ranking was that accurate. The ranking was only a reference. If one were to take it too seriously, one would suffer a huge loss sooner or later. If one was unlucky, one might even lose their head. For example, if one's rank was higher than the opponent's and thought that he could beat the opponent, then he would be beaten. Of course, in Yi Chen's opinion, among the top 5 young warriors, besides the godly shark princess, the ranking of the other 4 would be quite accurate. Bai Wushue's power was indeed immeasurable. Although he had only barely won against Xia Hozuan, that star nuclear finger attack of Xia Hozuan's was very powerful. Bai Wushue had won under the situation where he was being suppressed. No matter his battling power or battling experience, they were both immeasurable. It would not be an exaggeration to rank him first, and the others would not have any doubts about it either. And the reason why the sword master was ranked before Xia Hozuan was because of his identity as a sword artist. Sword artists were very hard to counter. Xia Hozuan could use his star nuclear finger art to counter Bai Wushue, but he would not be able to counter Lu Xiaoyu, who was the sword master. After all, sword artists were usually good at attacking, and they rarely used it on defense. Therefore, once Lu Xiaoyu and Xia Hozuan battled, they would only be attacking each other, and the star nuclear finger art would not be able to lock onto the latter. But why was Lu Xiaoyu still ranked below Bai Wushue? The reason was simple. Bai Wushue was able to beat Lu Xiaoyu when he was being suppressed. Then, it would be even easier for him to fight against Lu Xiaoyu, who was good at attacking. After the battle at the Nine-Dragon Lake, everyone knew about Bai Wushue's defensive power. As for Xiao Chuhe, Yi Chen could not really comment on it either. This guy's movements were very simple, and each of his attacks were all ace attacks. Facing him, it would be very hard to decide the winner quickly. But it was also because of this that his style was more average than the other 4. He was more stable but not aggressive enough. As for the godly shark princess, Yi Chen had never seen her before, so he would not try to guess. Besides the top 5 young warriors, the top 25 warriors were all above 60 years old, while the oldest was almost 250 years old. There would definitely be master-level warriors above the age of 250 who would be able to make it into the ranking. But after 250 years old, there would still be a few warriors who cared too much about fame and fortune. Their only wish was to reach the life and death realm while they were still alive. Otherwise, they would be dead for sure in a few decades. Plus, the first page of the ranking had also mentioned that people who were over 250 years old would not be able to make it into the ranking. The pavilion did not want to make this ranking, which would put these old warriors in a difficult situation, since it would not go with the purpose of making the ranking. Baghdad, the headmaster of the Bronze Tiger tribe, ranked 10th. Inadvertently, Yi Chen saw a familiar name. It was the Bronze Tiger tribe. According to the introduction, this Baghdad was the headmaster of the Bronze Tiger tribe. He was 180 years old, and his power was close to half-step king warrior level. Could it be that barbarian who is chasing after me in Murom? If it is him, then he would indeed be in the top 10. I did not expect the information of the pavilion to be this powerful. Even the master-level barbarian warriors are on there. If it were not for Murom forcefully pushing her demon power essence, it would be very hard for the two to leave. Plus, with the addition of Dream-Eating Wolf, they would not have much confidence. One of the top 3 master-level blade artists, Lin Chaonan, ranked 19th. The former master-level blade artist, Shun Qianling, ranked 28th. The leader of the Floating Snow Palace, Snow Sword Master, ranked 39th. Soon, Yi Chen saw his own ranking, which was 48th. Besides the introduction of his personal achievements and battle records, there was also a special evaluation. The evaluation said, in the past 1,000 years, there have been 4 top martial geniuses. The first is Xianhou Yanqing Xian, who has learned about life and death as a girl. Her mysterious martial art is unparalleled in the world. Then, there is Duguju Dantai Mingyue. The first two have been famous for a long time and are the top two martial geniuses in the Sky Martial region. Only Yi Chen has risen up step by step from a small martial institution. His willpower, mentality, and determination are rare. Yi Chen smiled lightly. The pavilion had given him quite a high evaluation. But it was just an evaluation after all, and no one else would know about him. Right after that, Yi Chen noticed that there was another person from the Dragon God Celestial Palace who was also in the Master-level warrior ranking. It was indeed the leader of the Yellow Dragon Palace, Zhang Jingguang. Of course, Yi Chen did not think that the other four palace leaders would not be qualified to be in the ranking, since the Dragon God Celestial Palace was located in the East Shallow Ocean area, which was already out of the continent's range. Since the Yellow Dragon Palace was located in the East region, it would naturally be counted in the continent as well. There are too many powerful warriors, and none of them are easy to deal with. Glancing at the four big words on the title page, World Master, Yi Chen closed the book. On the 10th day after returning to the South Ridra region, Murong Zishui had finally made the antidote for the shadowless poison. After swallowing it, the shadowless poison in Su Ruhui's body disappeared immediately. Not only that, the seal that Xianhou had left in her body had also helped her a lot, saving her the trouble of taking care of her body. Su Ruhui was safe and sound, which made Murong Zishui and Murong Qingcheng extremely happy. Half a year of depression and fear had disappeared within a day. Murong Zishui purposely threw a huge banquet for 3 days and invited Yi Chen and Yi Chen's parents to come as well. With the parents of the two families together, they naturally had endless things to talk about. In the end, Murong Zishui and Yi Tianhao got drunk, which was a rare occasion. The peaceful days passed by quickly, and another 3 months had passed in a blink of an eye. There was only half a year left before the battle between Yi Chen and Degaju. During these 3 months, a lot of things had happened again, such as Chu Zhongtian finally reaching the Sea of Souls realm. Chu Zhongtian had the evil spirit body, and once he reached the Sea of Souls realm, he became terrifyingly powerful. He went to the Sky Martial region alone, beating a lot of young martial geniuses from the bottom to the top. In the end, he went to challenge Lin Tian, who had lost to Yi Chen before. After exchanging hundreds of attacks, he won. The battling power he had shown had scared a lot of martial geniuses in the Sky Martial region. A lot of people were discussing that Chu Zhongtian might be the next martial genius after the top 3 martial geniuses. However, different from the top 3, Chu Zhongtian's power was in his body. The evil spirit body was one of the rarest body types in history. What he trained was not Jin Yuan, but Evil Yuan. When he was at the astral reaching realm, the Evil Yuan's power was already horrifying enough. As Chu Zhongtian reached the Sea of Souls realm, his Evil Yuan became even more powerful. In other words, every time he reached the next realm, Chu Zhongtian's advantage in terms of Evil Yuan would increase. The others would need to use profound sense to increase their battling power, but Chu Zhongtian only needed to use his Evil Yuan to cancel out the advantage. It was indeed a body type that people were jealous of. After beating Lin Tian, Chu Zhongtian did not arrogantly challenge the top 5 young warriors, since he knew that his cultivation was still too low. He was only at the early Sea of Souls realm, and because of his Evil Yuan, normal pellets and spirit plants would not be able to help him reach the peak level from the early Sea of Souls realm. With Chu Zhongtian being so eye-catching, the martial institutions and families that he belonged to were naturally overjoyed. They started to search for special medicines all over the world, since they knew that whether or not their martial institutions and families would be able to reach the next level would depend on Chu Zhongtian. Compared to Chu Zhongtian, Jing Aoshuan and Li Xiaoyan, who used to be on par with Chu Zhongtian and were even slightly more powerful than him, seemed to be very dim. Of course, it was not their fault. Their comprehensive abilities were definitely top-notch, but compared to the people in the Sky Martial region, they would not be able to gain an advantage in any aspect since they did not have Chu Zhongtian's evil spirit body. As long as they increased their cultivation, they would be able to increase their battling power drastically. In the southern regions, only Yi Chen's light was still shining brightly. Even Chu Zhongtian would have to stay under Yi Chen's light for a while, unless he had the power to beat Yi Chen. The southern regions had Yi Chen and Chu Zhongtian, and there was also an extremely bright martial genius in the north region called Bai Minghui. He had beaten a lot of young warriors with only his spear. Originally, it was not that big of a deal since there were a lot of martial geniuses in the Sky Martial region. It would be normal if there were one more or one less. But what happened next shocked everyone. Bai Minghui and Lan Xiqing, as well as a group of young warriors around Lan Xiqing, had gotten into a conflict and started to fight. However, the result was out of everyone's expectation. He had chased after Lan Xiqing and the group of young warriors for millions of miles, and had even pushed them back to their own martial institutions. After that, everyone was shocked. The Great Era had arrived, and all the martial geniuses had risen up. There were 2 top martial geniuses in the middle, 2 top martial geniuses in the south, and a shocking martial genius in the north. Above them were the top 5 young warriors. Adding those famous young warriors, the whole true spirit continent was in a mess. It was like a muddy water, and no one could figure out what was going on. It seemed like it was not messy enough. At the beginning of March, Dugu Ju challenged someone in the North Swallow River. His opponent was Luo Haisong, who was just as powerful as Lin Tian and Lan Xiqing. There were hundreds of thousands of people watching the battle. The two had only exchanged 10 attacks, and Dugu Ju had won. Chapter 627. Although Dugu Ju had beaten Tai Shicheng in the Nine-Dragon Lake, Tai Shicheng's fame and power were still slightly weaker than Luo Haisong's. Plus, when he beat Tai Shicheng, Dugu Ju had suffered quite a bit of internal injury as well. However, it was different this time. Facing Luo Haisong, who was even more powerful than Tai Shicheng, Dugu Ju had only used 10 attacks to beat him completely without being wounded at all. Regarding this result, everyone could only use monster to describe Dugu Ju. Only a monster would be able to increase his power by a couple of levels within half a year. In a mid-sized city in the Sky Martial region, inside the Wind Restaurant, inside the massive VIP room, dozens of young men with extraordinary looks were drinking and chatting. Among them, the young man in silver robes was the most eye-catching. He had a silver crown on his head, and his body was tall and muscular. His face was like jade, and his eyes were like stars. His eyebrows were all the way up to his temples, making him look like a dragon flying into the sky. There was a hint of evil qi around him, but at the same time, it gave people a sense of power. On the long table right next to him, there was a bright silver long spear. A silver dragon was coiled around the body of the spear, its head sticking out of the spear. Brother Baiming, right now, everyone is talking about how Lan Xiqing and his friends were chased by you for 1,000,000 miles and had to run back to their own martial institutions. It seems like your name has spread out all over the Sky Martial region. Soon it will spread out all over the true spirit continent. One of them said to the young man in silver robes. Another person continued, if Brother Baiming hadn't been hiding his strength and biding his time in the Black Warrior domain, how could those self-proclaimed extraordinary young geniuses have the chance to boast about themselves? Brother Baiming, this is called shocking the world with a single brilliant feat. Yeah, I think in the whole continent, only Brother Baiming has the chance to replace the top 5 young warriors. Everyone else would have to step aside. The young man in silver robes was indeed Bai Minghui, who had gained a lot of fame recently. He was 28 years old this year, and was the young master of the Baiming family in the Black Warrior region. He had been learning spear arts since he was young, and he had brought out a powerful spear attack, Sky Bank. During the battle with Lan Xiqing, he had only used the starting movement of Sky Bank, and it had already made his opponent puke blood. His lips curled slightly as he said lightly, the so-called top young warriors are only in name. They do not even make me want to try my best. Lan Xiqing was only a clown in his eyes. In his eyes, Lan Xiqing's age, Lan Xiqing, had been famous for long. In his eyes, Xiqing, warrior Bai Mingqing, Yi Xiqing was. Brother Baiming, although Lan Xiqing is not worth mentioning, that Dugu Jue is still very powerful. I heard that he had beaten Luo Haisong, who is just as famous as Lan Xiecheng, with only 10 attacks. When he threw out his 10th blade attack, the whole river was cut in half by him. Since there were people who flattered him, there were naturally people who warned him. Hearing the name Duguju, the smile on Bai Minghui's face disappeared. Indeed, Duguju was not something that Lan Xiecheng could compare with. Pfft! Brother Lan, you're just boosting the others' morale. Although Duguju is one of the top 2 martial geniuses in the Sky Martial region, he still needed 10 attacks to beat Luo Haisong. So, he should not be that powerful. Brother Baiming beat Lan Xiecheng in 7 attacks. The first person retorted, "You cannot say it like that." Half a year ago, in the Nine Dragon Lake, Luo Haisong had used an attack that would kill 1,000 of his enemies and 800 of his own to beat Tai Shicheng. Right now, his power has increased drastically, and he can take care of Luo Haisong within 10 attacks without risking his life. If he uses that attack, the result would be very obvious. As soon as he said those words, the people who wanted to refute him could no longer do so. What had happened in the Nine Dragon Mountain had already been spread to every corner of the true spirit continent by the tens of thousands of spectators. Duguju's blade attack in such a desperate situation was indeed frightening. Bai Minghui said, "Duguju is indeed not to be underestimated. If there is a chance, I will battle with him and see what kind of monster he is." The North region was basically ruled by the barbarian race. Although the Baiming family was a rank 5 family with a life and death realm warrior guarding it, compared to the barbarian race, it was not even worth mentioning. Fortunately, although the barbarian race did not like the human race, it was not to the point where they had to kill each other. If they really dared to do that, it would not be the human race that would be killed, but the barbarian race itself. Living in an environment like this in the North region, Bai Minghui had felt the power of the barbarian race since he was young. Therefore, he had never stopped trying to make himself stronger. For him, no matter who it was, he would surpass them. Hearing him, everyone was a bit confused. After being together for a long time, they had gradually realized that although Bai Minghui looked very calm and did not care about anything, he was actually very strong inside. If he had the confidence, he would definitely challenge Duguju. After all, although Duguju had a horrifying blade attack that could kill 1,000 enemies and oneself, Bai Minghui also had a powerful spear attack like Sky Bank. As for being completely safe, it was not quite possible, since Bai Minghui was a martial genius, but Duguju was still the top martial genius of the Sky Martial region. If he improved, so would the other. How could there be a perfect chance? Bai Minghui seemed to know what everyone was thinking, so he laughed and said, "Before the battle with Duguju, I will have to beat Yichen first." What? His words had shocked everyone, and they all looked at Bai Minghui confusedly. Brother Bai Ming, do not be reckless. Half a year ago, even Duguju did not dare to fight with Yichen, and they had set a 1-year deadline. If you ask me, you should challenge Duguju first and then Yichen. No one dared to underestimate Yichen, not even those people who were trying to flatter Bai Minghui before. Among all the martial geniuses in the continent, besides the top 5 young warriors, only Yichen was in the master-level warrior ranking. This kind of fame and power was like a huge mountain pressing on the hearts of all the young warriors. Yeah, Yichen is even more difficult to deal with than Duguju. It is still too early now. No one could understand why Bai Minghui would challenge Yichen first. Logically speaking, Bai Minghui should have known how powerful Yichen was. Bai Minghui said lightly, "I naturally have my reasons for challenging Yichen first." Pausing for a second, Bai Minghui continued, "Let me ask you guys, Duguju has a killing attack that would kill 1,000 enemies and 800 allies. What does Yichen have?" This. Everyone seemed to understand what Bai Minghui was trying to say. Bai Minghui continued to say, "Indeed, Yichen was even more brilliant than Duguju half a year ago. But now, Duguju is catching up. Even if his overall power is not as powerful as Yichen, as long as he uses that powerful blade attack, he would still have the confidence to beat Yichen. Plus, Yichen might not have made much progress during this half a year. Perhaps his overall power is only at the same level as Duguju. Once Ju uses his ace attack, Yichen will lose for sure, and my Sky Bank will beat Yichen as well. Bai Minghui was very clear that with his current power, battling with Ju would only have a 50% chance of winning. Therefore, he did not think that there was a need to challenge Ju right now. It would be great if he won, but if he lost, it would only make him a stepping stone for his opponent, which would make his opponent even more powerful. On the other hand, Yichen had been quiet for half a year, so no one knew exactly how powerful he was. But Bai Minghui did not think that his improvement would be that crazy, and he would have a higher chance of winning than Ju. But Yichen is ranked 48th after all,
someone said.
Bai Minghui smiled lightly. Remember, this is the ranking from half a year ago. Right now, the ranking will only be revealed in the second ranking. After Chu Zhongtian stayed in the Sky Martial region for a while, he returned to the southern regions. For some reason, he suddenly had the idea of going to the South Ridra region to check it out. Among the top 4 warriors in the southern regions, he was the last one to reach the Sea of Soul's realm. Yichen was the first, and Jing Aoshuan and Li Xiaoyan were the second. Of course, right now, he had already surpassed Jing Aoshuan and Li Xiaoyan, and was only second to Yichen. Therefore, he wanted to see exactly what level Yichen was at and how big the gap between them was. But he had not decided if he should meet with Yichen or not, and if he should challenge him. But if he did not challenge him, how would he know the gap between them? Whatever, I will go check it out first. Pushing his evil yuan, Chu Zhongtian's speed increased to its limit. Like a dark red shooting star, he sliced through the sky and disappeared within a second. Flying above the Star Regional Lake, Chu Zhongtian frowned slightly as he turned his head to look. In the northwest direction, beams of light were flying toward the South Rudra region. The leader was a young man in silver robes, carrying a bright silver long spear on his back. There was a silver dragon coiling around the body of the spear, with the tip of the spear sticking out. The group of people behind him were all not ordinary warriors. At least, Chu Zhongtian could tell that some of them had qi that was even more powerful than Jing Aoshuan and Li Xiaoyan. Young man in silver robes, silver dragon long spear. Could it be Bai Minghui? What are they going to do in the South Ridra region? Chu Zhongtian did not expect that these people were going for Yichen. Never mind, they can do whatever they want. I will do what I want. Chu Zhongtian did not think that he would be going the same way as them. Flying past the Star Regional Lake, Chu Zhongtian flew directly toward the mountains where the Morong family was. The Morong family was quite close to him after all. If Yichen was there, then it would save him some time. But if he was not there, then going to the Yi family in the Windy Nation would not be too much of a detour. However, what surprised Chu Zhongtian was that Bai Minghui and the group were also heading toward the Morong family, and they had already noticed him. They are not going for Yichen, are they? Chu Zhongtian could not believe it at all. He did not think that Bai Minghui was going there as a guest, and he had never heard that Yichen and Bai Minghui were friends. So, excluding this possibility, the conclusion was obvious. Bai Minghui was going for a challenge, or at least a sparring session. A smile appeared on Chu Zhongtian's face. He was still thinking about how to find out Yichen's real power, but he did not expect that he would not even need to do anything. Judging from the current situation, Chu Zhongtian knew that he was not an opponent for Bai Minghui and Ju. But he was not in a hurry, since he had just reached the Sea of Soul's realm, and it was the time for him to make rapid progress. Therefore, he only needed to know the gap between them. Bai Minghui challenging Yichen would definitely show him the gap. It seems like I have made the right decision this time. Chu Zhongtian followed right behind Bai Minghui and the group, maintaining a distance of dozens of miles. The people behind Bai Minghui noticed Chu Zhongtian, so they said, "Brother Bai Ming, this person is following us. Should we get rid of him?" Bai Minghui said, "There is no need for more trouble. I am going to challenge Yichen, and I am not interested in him at all. If he wants to come, then come. It would be nice to have another audience." This time, he was going to challenge Yichen secretly, and only these people knew about it. So, it would not be a bad thing to have Chu Zhongtian, an outsider. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.